All right. So for the quick tip here, go out and play. Yes, go out and play as an adult, like the kids do. So listen, there is value in going out to play or carving out time to play as an adult, right? So what do I mean by play though, right? So by play, I mean doing something recreationally that gives you joy or brings excitement to your life, right? Brings or makes you excited. That ultimately though is, and here's the catch, that's good for you and it's not self-defeating, right? So, because there are a whole bunch of things that you could do recreationally that probably gets you excited or that you would consider fun that's not quite as good for you. So I ain't talking about any of those things. I'm talking about something that you could get involved in. Again, it brings excitement, brings joy, that isn't self-defeating, which means it actually kind of pumps you up and makes you better, right? But the key component for this fun thing is that you're not even worried about the end result of it. You're just having fun, and that joy and excitement is in the process of it, right? So, for instance, I have fun playing video games, right? Of course, do I like winning at video games? Yes, absolutely. I do. But I enjoy the process of playing video games and, RPGs, action RPGs, some sports games, not as many, boxing, fighting games, whatever it is. But I enjoy doing that, right? And that's fun. That's play for me. Now, there's always a point where what you decide to do to play can be self-defeating if you do too much of it. Right? And so everything has to be in balance. But the general idea of playing, or finding something to play, or finding time to play is basically finding time, carving out time to do something that brings you joy, that excites you, that doesn't basically take away from you without ever really worrying about the end result of said thing. Okay? So the great thing about just playing for adults, there's a bunch of research on it. There's a lot of it. So there's this one institute, the National Institute for Play, N.I.F.P. I think that's what it is. Google it. I might have to Google it again. But N.I.F.P., the National Institute for Play, has a bevy of research on playing for adults and its benefits, right? So there's two main benefits that I want to talk about, right? First one is it lowers your stress, which stress is a sneaky killer of people. And we already know this, right? But then the second one is it promotes overall well-being, and it does it in a number of different ways. So let's just start with the stress relief or the stress reduction, okay? Playing can cause your body to release endorphins. That's the feel-good hormone. So playing a lot of times will reduce your stress by helping you feel at peace and relaxed and just real chill, feeling good. You're feeling good, all right? And that's a big benefit physiologically, right? The next one is it typically helps adults cope with the stressors in life and the negative things that pop up in life. So playing, actually, there's research that shows that playing helps adults cope, but it also helps adults endure. And, go back a few episodes is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of how to become a stronger person. So if you make the links here, playing helps you become better, right? Again, everything in balance, but playing lowers your stress, forces your body to release endorphins, and can help you. There's a link between adults that play and their coping capabilities, right? So more the adults who play are more likely to be able to cope with the stresses, and they also typically are able to use a lot of the mechanisms for lowering stress, like reframing, different things that happen to you in your life. And I talk about that at least 4 different episodes already. So it's really good for doing that, and playing helps. So it helps promote that feeling of overall well-being, right? And it does so many different things in so many different areas that so people who typically play are, one, usually more creative. Two, they typically have a greater sense of hope, which I found very interesting. And three, they are usually better mentally. Their mental health is actually, mentally, they're in tip-top shape, which also leads to better physical fitness as well. So that third one is adults who play typically are mentally fit and still physically fit. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. So the N.I.F.P, National Institute for Play, they have this list of play personalities, and I think that's so cool. Okay, so I like the psychological test and stuff like that to see, or personality test. I like all those things just to see, hey, I'm this, and this, and what are you, right? It's some nerdy stuff, I know, but I just like that stuff. So they have their list of like play personality types, and actually I had to kind of write it all down and everything like that. So I'm gonna read them off to you, and just so that you can have that information, and so you can figure out also based on that information. Of course, you can go on the website. What are the best modes for you to use so that you can play and play effectively, so that you can get all the benefits out of what you're doing here, right? So here are the list of like play personalities, right? So the first one is the collector. They build collections. So I mean, it's really kind of simple, self-explanatory there, but they'll collect coins, stamps, playing cards, cars, if you have a lot of money, apparently. But they like collecting things. So they build up their little collection just so they can look at it. Not even just sell it or anything like that, but just that act of pulling in, collecting something, and organizing it in a particular way. That's the collector, right? So people who have fun doing that, that's what they do, right? That's what brings them joy and excitement. So I actually know a few people who collect cars, and what they'll do is they'll collect like beat up cars, and then like fix them up, and then just keep them in the garage, right? Not even selling them or anything like that. It's just but that's a multiple play personality thing too, right? So and I'll show you why. But the next play personality is a competitor. They like playing games and winning. But the thing is, they like playing games and winning, but there has to be a set of rules that are lined up with it. So in essence, that's the point of a game. You're doing something, you have a set of rules, and you can see who can do this and who can do this better, right? Competitors, that's how they have fun. So you could think athletes, people playing sports, people playing video games, people playing board games, things like that, right? The next one is the creator or the artist. So the creator or the artist, basically, they make things, and they make things work, right? So this could be a machinist on one end or a painter on the other. They're both basically getting joy and excitement out of what they're doing and what they're pulling together, what they're creating, or what they're fixing, right? Same thing with like a carpenter. So a painter, carpenter, machinist, they're all in the same kind of play personality group there, right? Then you have the director. The director, it is basically, they're what I would call like the party host. They plan and they direct and they get everything lined up and organized in a particular way so that it goes off and everybody has fun at the party, and that gives them great joy, and that's them playing. So I know gazillion people, and I'm pretty sure you do too, who are just like that, where they just have fun planning these things, right? Then you have the explorer. This one is a very interesting one to me, right? So the explorers play by discovering new things. but it's interesting, right? So like you would think, well, explore, so they're discovering a new physical location. That's part of it. But they can also discover a new feeling or new emotion, or they can also discover a new way of thinking. So these are the researchers. These people have fun. The explorers have fun by digging in, researching, gathering information, which is a little bit of the collector too. But anyway, but gathering information and it's very interesting. So like you could be an explorer in all four arenas of the Scout method. We'll talk about that a little bit too. Then the next play personality is the Joker. That's self-explanatory. We all know a few Jokers. They like the silliness. They like the pranks. They like the jokes. That gives them great joy. And we know a few people like that too. All right. So, and then there's the kinesthete. They basically get joy out of moving. What they do for fun is move their body. So there's people, dancers, people who like to say work out for random reasons just because it brings them great joy and it's fun to them. I don't know where you would find that type of person from. And then the next one is is a storyteller. They're the ones that tell the stories. They write the books. They write the plays. Their ground, their main playing ground is their imagination. So they have fun imagining things and pulling together the stories, right? So I laugh at all this, and this is pretty funny to me, but it's also really, really fun. So like, what am I? I am the competitor, the creator, and the explorer, the kinesthete, and storyteller. In varying degrees. I would say my number one probably is the creator or the artist, which is funny. But and then I guess next up will be competitor. Probably not competitor. Probably kinesthete next one, and then competitor, then storyteller. Maybe not in that order per se, but I would say number one is the creator for me. Right. So and listen. I want to know what your setup is, right? What's your setup? 'Cause I don't know. This stuff really makes me, I don't know. I'm just really interested in that. So let me know what your setup is. Like I said, I'm the competitor, creator, kinesthete, storyteller, explorer. Probably, explorer probably was up there too. But anyway, let me keep moving on. So there's more stuff that we want to talk about when it comes to play. So the question to ask here is, well, how do you play, right? So the first thing is first, right? You have to understand what your play personality is. What are those things that give you great joy, that excite you, that fall within one of those categories of those play personalities, right? Once you figure that out, then you want to kind of line up the events and line up the different things in order for you to, do whatever it is that can be done within those play personalities. In other words, if you know that you're an explorer, set up time to do some research. Or set up time to go to new places. Or set up time to actually sit down and think and feel, right? So, meditation can kind of help with that. Somebody said something like that before. I don't remember who. Anyway, you would want to set those times up. So, and that's kind of like another thought. We set up and we schedule time for everything else as adults, right? Especially if you have kids, you have to schedule everything. Like you just have to, right? Rarely do we ever schedule time to play. So what I propose is you schedule some time to play. Start off with a little bit of time, once a week or something like that. It doesn't have to be anything major, but schedule time out for you to go out and have fun, or to stay home and have fun, for you to do something and have fun, right? So, and again, I want to clarify a little bit more, right? So I guess the founder of the N.I.F.P, his name is Stuart Brown. And he basically gives you a starting point in one of his books that he's written, and I don't remember the title exactly, but I I barely remember the quote. I'm reading the quote, but a quote that I pulled from one of his books was that play is the state of mind that one has when absorbed in an activity that provides enjoyment and a suspension of time. So that last part, I didn't really touch on too much, but that last part is crucial because it's just like, when you're having fun when it's just like, oh man, like you're not even worried about the clock. Right? It's just like, wait. And all of a sudden you get that feeling like time flies. It was really like an hour, but you were having so much fun. It was like 3 hours, but you were having so much fun. And it felt like 5 minutes, right? Like time just kind of just like, whoa. And you are completely absorbed in what you're doing. That's when you know you're having fun. So find things that block out time in your schedule and find those things that you get great joy and excitement out of, that you get that feeling of time is just stopping because I'm doing this right now. So if you like this segment, here's another one for you. Click over here. And if you want the entire podcast, go this way. Click on that one right there. And once again, I appreciate you. All right, you take it easy.